live. Let's see. I think we might be live now, friends. Apologies for the delays. We have some technical stuff today. Technical stuff happens. It happens to all of us. It happens to me. It happens to you. It happens to friends and family. It happens to the people you love. Hold on. Okay, and the quality will be bad, guys, because it's just me going solo right now. And actually, Henry, if you're still here, I'm going to have to dip off Discord because my computer's about to blow up. Sorry, man. Okay, we had some technical difficulties on our end, guys. Thank you so much for your patience. Good to see everyone in the chat. Sadly, it's not fixed. We're just kind of, this is a backup mechanism right now because, it didn't all come together. On the other end, Henry's having to update some stuff on his computer, but he'll be ready to go for Wednesday. In the meantime, this is our case of the Mondays. And here's what we're going to talk about today. I want to see if I can get this up and ready to go. So here's the situation, guys. Stuff's getting weirder in the old government, in the old U.S. government, in the old Musk government. And I want to talk about it because it's crazy. And I'll just say this right now, kind of bluntly, and let you know how I feel. I think it's really, I guess we're not supposed to say insane, but I'm old and washed, so I'll be problematic. If that's the most problematic thing I do, I think I'm doing okay. But it's pretty insane that we're in a position in America where we now have people like Elon Musk and an unelected official, an unelected foreign person, interfering pretty aggressively in our government and getting access to very high level departments and systems, and then bringing in his own people who are little goon babies to futz around in the mechanisms that run our country. They're talking about putting the U.S. Treasury on a goddamn blockchain. It's just getting so weird. Let's see. So I think we want to look at this article. It's some of the stuff's going to be blacked out because I'm doing it on 12-foot ladder. This is on Rolling Stone, the weekend. Trump and Musk spent the weekend making people's lives harder. So let's just check up on everything that's been going on in our country. My country. I know some of you aren't from here, and God bless you for that. Let me take a sip of beautiful Yes Please coffee. So, I think that what is the thing we imagine for government, right? In the, let's call it the vaguely democratic West, we imagine that we have, free and fair elections, and in election cycles, we debate substantive issues that we're all able to vote. Once we vote, candidates are put in place that are both, democratically elected and kept, within reason in a system of checks and balances. We like to feel that, when we elect a candidate, they have a mandate from us, or at least from the majority that voted for them, to execute a certain set of policies while doing so in the best interest of everyone, of working people. What we're seeing, of course, instead of that, is a president who's got a lot of weird personal vendettas, who is employing a bunch of goon babies and goon daddies to come into our government, turn it into their play place, run it like a private corporation, and slowly install a system of techno-feudalism in which corporate interest just overtly runs our politics. Now, one might say, well, Michael, isn't it the case that billionaires and corporate interests have already had an outsized influence in the functioning of American government? Of course, you're right. But it's one of those mask off, quiet part, out loud things now, where there's a lack of mediation or a lack of, laundering between those two things. So it's just a direct situation. So let's look at this Rolling Stone article. It says, since Inauguration Day, President Donald Trump and billionaire Elon Musk have wreaked havoc on the federal government. They sent their destructive political project into a hyperdrive over the weekend, causing shockwaves. In 72 hours, they announced a trade war with two of America's most critical economic partners, Mexico and Canada, while Musk and his cronies seize control of sensitive federal financial systems. That one's scary. We're going to talk more about it. And announced that the president has approved the dissolution of the United States Agency for International Development. Also, let me see if I can pull this up really quick. I saw this too. It says U.S. to withdraw from U.S. Human Rights Council. So let's also, let's human rights. Who needs them? Who needs them is what I say. Who needs human rights? I think I would like some human rights. I think if you ask me, should we be involved in a human rights council, I would say yes. But what do I know? Someone in the chat said Peter Thiel was born a goon daddy. Yeah, it's Goon Monday. International financial markets plummeted on Monday. That's great. After Trump announced he would be levying tariffs. This affected me personally because I saw a post from a Canadian guitar effects manufacturer today that said their guitar pedals to all Americans are now going to be marked up 25%. What are we going to do? And I don't know if it's, let's see. So levying tariffs in China, Canada, and Mexico, 25% tax on imports from the U.S. North American neighbor, 10% on China. But Monday they said they would delay the tariffs on Mexico. I think Sheinbaum, is that her last name? The president of Mexico, made some stuff happen. I know we talked about this with some of our Mexican friends in the chat before, but yeah, definitely Mexico seems like they have a much cooler president than us. According to Trump, the tariffs are intended to curb the flow of illegal drugs and immigration. It just makes no sense. And also, I'm not an economist. Some of you probably know more. Yeah, Baldini, I feel you there. I'm not an economist. Some of you probably know more about economics than I do, so feel free to share. But every thing I've read from someone who is smart on economics indicates that tariffs do not do what Trump says that they do. They just lead to further inflation and make things more expensive for us. Sean's pointing out in the chat that the tariffs will potentially destroy the auto industry. I mean, a question too, this is my esteemed roommate and life partner asked me this last night. Like, is there a world where any of this goes so badly that there is a revolt against Trump? I don't think so. Trump said anyone that's against tariffs, including the fake news, Wall Street Journal, and hedge funds, is only against them because these people or entities are controlled by China. I don't think hedge funds are controlled by China. I think hedge funds are controlled by markets. Anyone that loves and believes the United States of America is in favor of tariffs. They should have never ended in favor of the income tax system in 1913. The response to tariffs has been fantastic. From who have they been fantastic? Also, you shouldn't love a country. It says anyone that loves and believes in the United States of America, maybe love a people. You can love a culture, but I don't love America. Why would I love America? You know what I mean? That would be weird. I don't love it here. I love people. I love, artists of certain sorts. I love aspects of different cultures. But yeah, Professor Christopher Maverick, PhD in the chat, says he's literally a 2-year-old. Hey guys, Vox Podcast. If you don't subscribe, you should. The response was not, in fact, fantastic. All three nations made swift vows to retaliate, either with sanctions of their own or lawsuits. Economists warned that the financial pain intended by the tariffs would be felt by American consumers at grocery stores and gas stations. So many people have voted for El Trumpito. We're talking about how it was because of eggs and gas. Sometimes when I eat eggs, I get gas. But every indication is that a lot of our grocery items are going to get ramped up and gas going to be really expensive. But people think that he's just going to turn on the gas nozzle and all the gas is going to come out. On Monday morning, international financial markets took a nosedive. That's cool. The global community's panic over the international impact of Trump's trade policies, compounding existing anxiety over the domestic chaos. He spent the weekend picking fights with the U.S. biggest economic partners. Musk orchestrated a takeover of two of the nation's most influential monetary agencies. I mean, this is a silly thing to say because what else are we going to do? But we should be incredibly, deeply, super concerned about what is happening. Actually, let me do something real quick. I know that's me. I think I had a video running. I want to turn this off because it's probably slowing things down over here. We should be really concerned and freaked out that this is happening, guys. The Musk stuff. I know that we've gotten so used to seemingly irrational things happen at the highest level of government that we just think this is how stuff goes now. But it's really wild. And you could imagine how people would have reacted if during, the Biden or Obama presidency, something this overt and weird happened. And it's just weird, guys, that Elon Musk obviously has more financial power than you or I will ever have. But the fact that this unelected person is having this influence in our government is crazy. And it's the shit that if you're in America, when this happens in other countries, people freak out and we send tanks to go get them or whatever. Let's see. Hey, thanks, Alan. Says over the weekend, Musk and his team at Doge. What does Doge stand for? What could be a fun thing it stands for? I don't know. Don't orgasm. Gooning is extinct. That's what I got. It stopped with young, inexperienced engineers, succeeded in gaining access to the Federal Reserve's payment system. The hugely impactful payment portal handles everything from Social Security and Medicare payments to federal employees' salaries, tax refunds, and payments to other government agencies. Contains a trove of sensitive identity and financial information on American citizens. Guys, Elon Musk and his weird little goon babies have access, if you're an American citizen, to your Social Security number and a bunch of other things, guys. It's really weird. Oh, we got some good stuff in here. These are people's explanations for what Doge means. Department of Gritty Edgelords. That's from Shade. BR Rad. Dig out goon excrement. A party tortoise. Demonic oligarchies get everything. Jelly spread. Department of Gooning and Edging. Dick Sauke. Oh, Asian businessman. I almost started saying that. Don't order green eggs and ham. Damn oligarchs getting everything. Let's see. Yeah, and I saw Beer Patio brought up Heather Cox Richardson. Yeah, I think her work on this is really good. Let's go back to this. Doge and Musk made it clear that gaining access to the system will grant them the ability to unilaterally cut off any financial transactions. Because, of course, what they're doing here with the Doge committee of goon babies is, cutting government spending. Cutting government spending. The first example of how such access might be weaponized came hours later when the billionaire and his minions executed a potentially permanent shutdown of USAID, the American government's largest distributor of civilian foreign aid. I mean, someone said Dick Sneeze overtly gropes everyone. Dogs over government every day. Dusty old guy empire. Did we hit 666, guys? I can't tell anything. I'm running this solo. I don't have access to data. I'm dataless. I have no data. I am without data. And after members of the Doge team were barred by USAID's staff from accessing systems and materials that did not clear to view, blah, blah, blah. USAID employees are being told not to come to work. Like people that work for these government agencies, again, that organize the finances to distribute aid to the world, are just being told they can't come to work. Also, there's a bunch of other dumb stuff. I know a bunch of us have heard about these things, guys. But you know that they did a thing on a bunch of government websites now. It doesn't say LGBT. It just says LGB because they're just erasing trans people from existence. That's crazy. I don't care if you know a trans person, if you are a trans person, if you don't really like him, if you do like him, if you like him but don't want to admit that you like him, whatever it is. That's just crazy that we are using official government language to try to eradicate a type of human being from existing. I read the order on gender again this morning for a video we're working on. It's really crazy shit, guys. 777, I think it's time to pray. Dear God of bureaucracy, hierarchy, and megalomania, we pray that the weird freaks that you let infiltrate our government systems do a really good job of converting the last scraps of democracy into a tech oligarchy by which the richest and smartest boys rule over the rest of us. Please make them our eternal government CEOs and make us the plebes in their factories because that's what we deserve. Let us be fed by digital slop. Let us be nothing more than little balls of organic shit and piss hooked into servers, consuming content, trading our data for entertainment that is empty so that we can facilitate the expansive reach of a tiny group of assholes that have weird penises. Amen. Says USAID is tasked with distributing billions of dollars. Someone, dog formerly known as Cat, says, seems like Doge is meant to punish anyone that speaks out against Trump. Yeah. Not good. Kind of like a system where your social credit is determined by the government. USAID is tasked with distributing billions of dollars in foreign aid on an annual basis. Guys, Henry's in the chat, so, Henry's still here. The agency's not above reproach, yada, yada. Senator Chris Murphy, who's slowly becoming, thank you so much, Derek. Senator Chris Murphy is slowly becoming one of the least annoying senators. A member of the Senate Foreign Relations Committee warned that the immediate consequences of this are cataclysmic. Malnourished babies who depend on U.S. aid will die. And Chris Murphy, guys, I don't think he's full of shit. Oh, I froze. Can you hear me? Am I here at all? Oh, no, I'm frozen. I'm frozen. Do we hear me? Okay. I will fix that cam. I will fix the cam. Let's try this. What if I do this? Oh. Hey. It's me. I'm a frozen. Hold on 1 second, guys. I'll fix it. I'll fix this shit. I'm a technical genius. Let's see. Let's see. Why isn't this working? Why isn't this working, guys? What can we do to fix it? What can we do to make it better? Okay. But you guys, you can hear me, right? Okay. That's me. That's me frozen. I look good. I don't look bad. That's a nothingness. That's pure nothingness. I'm going to go back to the browser. I'm going to go back to, I guess, me. I think that's a good image of me right there. I think just imagine me like that, guys. Imagine me just like this, looking deep into your eyes. But yeah, fuck it. While we wait for the camera to potentially come back on or not, who knows if it will, who knows if anything will work. Malnourished babies who depend on U.S. aid will die. Malnourished babies who depend on U.S. aid will die. Malnourished babies who depend on the aid will die. I don't like this, guys. I don't like this at all. Xylem husk someone talked about. Isn't that good for cholesterol? Anti-terrorism programs will shut down. Diseases that threaten the U.S. will go unabated and reach our shores faster. China will fill the void as developing countries will not only be able to rely on China. This just feels really bad, guys. It feels really bad. Look at this stalled image of me. Oh, I look so serious. Now I look like I'm about to go poopy in my pants or something. I'm going to pull up another article for us, guys. So give me 2 seconds for that, and then we'll get that going. As you stare at me, looking very focused, I will remind you that the reason I'm so focused is because I am just jacked up on Yes Please coffee. It's like my favorite thing in the world. I love Yes Please so much. Just a constant reminder, they don't pay us to say that. They just give us a discount code. So if you want to use it, you can get it at a discount, which I think is cool. So, look into it if you want. But I love it. I friggin' love it. Yeah, look into my background. Also, there's a bottle of Malort back there. Okay, let's go back to me like that. So let's check this article out. Friends, family, fellow Scotsmen. This is from Victoria Elliott over at Wired. Wired is doing some of the best reporting right now about everything happening. So, and again, that's what I'm thinking about in this image. You know what I could do, I bet, if I wanted? Hold on. Oh boy. What if I did this? I'm crazy because I know I'm so good at technical things. Let's see. Oh boy. Look at that little zoom in guy. Look at that little guy. That's way too close up. That's terrifying. Isn't that a terrifying image? Okay, so we do have, that's a little bit of me right there. A little bit of Mamba in my life. Okay, so that is me. That's who I am. This is cropped in a weird way because of various things. Let's see. Let's see. Henry, I'm going to look into what you're saying It does not give me an option for that. So I think if I stop, the stream's just going to go. So I think let's just ride this one out for here, and then we'll do a radical stream on Wednesday. This is just me on my little computer camera, without all the AI that normally makes me look so much better. It's the Zoom is horrible, but I'm not going to change it because we're here. Okay, so let's look at this article. It's from Wired. The young and experienced engineers aiding Elon Musk's government takeover. So you guys, some of you might have thought when I was talking about goon babies before that I was just being silly, but it's real. Like there really are these goon babies that Elon Musk has running our government. Enhance. Elon Musk's takeover of federal government infrastructure is ongoing. The center of things is a coterie, good word, of engineers who are barely out of, and in some cases still in college. Most have connections to Musk. At least two have connections to Musk's longtime associate, Peter Thiel. So think about it this way, guys. Musk is not elected. No one voted for him. I didn't vote for him. Did you vote for him? If you did, it was illegal. Maybe you wrote him in. I guess that's legal. So we didn't vote for this guy. And now he's in Washington doing a bunch of stuff, having a goddamn field day. And then he just brings these little boys along with him. These little boys, just out of college, also not elected formally in any way. They're just not elected officials. They're just some little guys, okay? And then these little guys are running around Washington, in between their main job, which is probably looking up abusive stepmother porn on Pornhub. They're doing stuff in our government. We don't like it. Let's talk about it. Wired has identified 6 young men who have had little to no government experience and are now playing critical roles in the Department of Government Efficiency. People were doing a good job earlier of letting us know what DOGE stands for. Please feel free to give us your takes on that as well. Tasked by executive order with modernizing federal technology and software to maximize governmental efficiency and productivity, the engineers all hold nebulous job titles. At least one appears to be working as a volunteer. The engineers are Akash Boa, Edward Koristine. I'm going to say these wrong because I don't care. These guys sound like pricks. Luke Ferrator, Gautier Cole Killian. These sound like fake names. Gavin Kilger and Ethan Shoutrin. None have responded to requests from comment. There was a thing on the internet earlier I sound like I'm a fucking 100 years old, where someone posted a picture of them and then someone was like, how can they dox these people? This is horrible and abusive. And it's like, no, they're in our government pulling levers. We're allowed to know who they are because we pay taxes. Logan Reeves, dumb oligarchs govern everything. Dawn of Goon era. Wow. You guys are great. So they've already taken control of the Office of Personnel Management, General Services Administration, have gained access to the Treasury Department's payment system, potentially allowing them access to a vast range of sensitive information about tens of millions of citizens, businesses, and more. On Sunday, CNN reported that DOGE personnel attempted to improperly access classified information and security systems at the U.S. Agency for International Development. What we're seeing is unprecedented in that you have these actors who are not really public officials gaining access to the most sensitive data in government, says Don Moynihan, a professor of public policy at the University of Michigan. Great school, one of the best public universities in America. We really have very little eyes on what is going on. Congress has no ability to intervene. Like, that's crazy. That Congress... So this feels like a hostile takeover of the machinery of governments by the richest man in the world. Delegation of gooning eggheads. There should be a thing where whoever the richest man in the world is gets like publicly executed on TV, so no one wants to be the guy because when you're the guy, they just come get you or something like that. Boba has attended the University of California, Berkeley. According to his, now he deleted his LinkedIn, coward. He's an investment engineering intern. He was a featured guest on the since deleted podcast with Aman Manazir, an engineer who interviews engineers. Koristine appears to have recently graduated from high school. They're listed as experts, reporting to Amanda Scales, the new chief of staff. Scales previously worked on talent for xAI, Musk's artificial intelligence company, and is part of Uber's talent acquisition team. Employees tell them that Coruscant has appeared on calls where workers were made to go over code they had written and justify their jobs. Imagine if you work, and again, I'm not trying to say these people are like cool or good necessarily, but you work for this government office. It's like a job you have. You're maybe 57 years old. You got 2 kids at home. One of them still loves you. One of them's turned against you. You got to deal with the fact that this thing that you raised is now calling your whole being into question. You still love him, but he hates you. He uses slurs against you to make you feel bad, but you're the one who's paying for the food that's on his plate. So you go into work, maybe one of the only places where you feel like people respect you because you're good at your job. You go in, you put your head down, you get the job done. Then you get on a call and some little 21-year-old goon freak is like, can you go through your code line by line and tell me why you deserve to have a job? And now it's basically like a version of your son is at work doing the same thing. So wherever you go, you get no goddamn respect. Why don't you just blow it all up at that point? It just sounds really terrible. And employees were not given an explanation as to who he was or why he was on calls. Ferritor, former intern at SpaceX, currently a Thiel fellow. Peter Thiel's a bad guy. Kliger, whose LinkedIn lists him as a special advisor to the director. He was at Berkeley. His Substack includes a post titled "The Curious Case of Matt Gaetz, How the Deep State Destroys Its Enemies," as well as another titled "Pete Hegseth as Secretary of Defense, the warrior Washington fears." These are crazy little guys. Wait, are we dome time? Okay. Zoom dome. The most zoomed in dome you'll ever see. Normally when we do dome, it's backed up. But this is Zoom dome, low quality camera dome. This is sort of like you go on Pornhub and your search terms are like low quality plus DILF plus dome plus stream. This is what comes up, you know. You go on Pornhub and you type in like dome plus depressed plus DILF plus malaise plus why he looks so sick though. And this is what you get. The fact that one of these little guys who's working there has a post that's called "The Curious Case of How the Deep State Destroys Its Enemies." Like, what does the deep state mean, right? Is that in the realm of just another weird sort of vaguely anti-Semitic conspiracy theory? This is 420p. Pete Hegseth, Hogsex, the warrior Washington fears. Killian, also known as Cole Killian, has a working email associated with Doge. He attended McGill University, graduated high school in 2019. Jesus Christ. People that graduated high school in 2019 are just like tooling around in the government. Got another guy from Harvard, a runner-up in a hackathon held by X. He received a $100,000 grant from OpenAI to build his scheduling assistant, Spark. Oh, boy. This is real, you know? This is real stuff. It's really happening. And it feels like there's nothing we can do to stop it. So, you know, what do we do in that case? I don't know what we do to stop it. Let me, you know, I don't want to let you guys behind the candelabra too much, but here's some other docs we have pulled up. Let's take a look at this guy. Just some live browsing. Oh, man. The future is so lame. Elon Musk may have your social security number. Everyone put your socials in the chat right now. Let's see. Let me just, hold on. There's some breaking news, too. Okay. So Marco Rubio is now the acting director of USAID. That's happened since we've been talking. Since we've been talking just now, Marco Rubio is now the director of that thing. This is a New York Magazine article by Chaz Donner. This is titled "How Elon Musk may have your social security number." If you're just tuning in, by the way, this is Wisecrack, Case of the Mondays. My name is Michael Burns. Producer Henry is with us spiritually right now, but he's not with us in a technical way, but he's in the chat. So if you have any questions or thoughts for producer Henry, let us know. I'm currently hatless because we have over 1,000 concurrent viewers, which means we do raw dome. I'm currently lit off of my Yes Please coffee. Yes Please is our coffee sponsor. If you go to Yes Please, you get 20% off. It's the best coffee you'll have. This isn't a bit. They're not some dumb company that works with a bunch of influencers. You want to know why they're a good company? You will not find one other person on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, or whatever who's doing little deals with Yes Please. It's just me, because I like their coffee a lot, and I literally reached out to them and was like, I like your coffee so much. I do this YouTube channel. I think we're cool. Do you want to be friends? And they're like, yeah, let's be friends. So that's why we do that. That's how you know it's real. Not to say that other stuff we do stuff for isn't like real. It's real, but this is like real. And if you haven't checked out last Friday's video, it is on, well, I infiltrated a far right university and took an online class. So please do check that out. If you haven't checked out Friday's video, does anyone else just feel worn out? Does anyone else feel, I'm going to describe something. Let me know if you feel this. Existentially and spiritually deflated, right? Do you feel like your spiritual self is a balloon that barely has any air left in it? Do you feel as if everything happening in the world every day looks you in the eyes, spits in your mouth a little bit, and says, you're going to take this because what's the alternative? Does anyone feel like that? Does anyone have that sort of feeling? Okay, just wondering. Do you ever feel like I'm... Okay, so let's look at this thing. Elon Musk may have your social security number. That makes me feel good. The world's richest man may now have access to the confidential personal information of every taxpayer in the United States, according to the New York Times and Wall Street Journal. Treasury Secretary Scott Bissonnette granted Elon Musk and his minions at the faux agency Doge. Canadian someone said, if we want to stop it, we need to vote left and demand real change. I know it's not going to happen for a while, though. So Doge has full access to the Treasury's massive federal payment system. Also on Friday, the top civil servant of the Treasury Department, David Lebrick, was apparently ousted after he refused to give Department of Government efficiency officials access to the system. I mean, I very much understand this. Like, again, this is your job. It is a job that you've had for a long time. You probably do a good job at your job. Maybe it's boring. Maybe you're not the best guy, but you do a good job at your job. And then some little dude comes in and is like, give me the keys to the car. And you're like, no, you're not real. And they're like, I work for Doge. And you're like, dog, that is not a real thing. And they're like, it's not dog, it's Doge. And you're like, no, dog is like, it's sort of like a nomenclatural thing. It's a way we refer to people in like a friendly way. Like, I don't get it because I don't have friends because I just goon on the computer all day. Okay, but still, I'm not going to let you into my thing. Do it. No, do it. No. Elon? Yes, I love apartheid. I'm here. I'm Elon. I have hair plugs. You're fired. Like, what are they doing? He was put on leave and suddenly retired. He'd worked at the Treasury for 3 decades and had been the Trump-named acting Treasury Secretary until someone else was confirmed. According to one person affiliated with the department, Trump-affiliated employees had previously asked about the Treasury's ability to stop payments. But his pushback was, we don't do that. The person says they seem to want the Treasury to be a choke point on payments, and that's unprecedented. So think about it this way, guys. Here's what they're basically doing. And some of us might have worked for companies that do shit like this, right? Like our parent company. I'm not going to name names, but there's been things that have happened before where we're working on a project. Maybe we're working with some freelancers or something like that. We're excited about it. And we have approval to spend some money. But then someone at payroll or accounts is just like, we've frozen all payments. We're not, and this happened to us like last year. There's a period where we owed freelancers money, people we love working with and we care about, who didn't get paid for a while because they were just like, well, we're not paying them. And that's what they're trying to do here. Because think about it this way. If you take the legislative path, you might have to do something like pass legislation such that we defund the programs you're trying to defund. But it's way easier when you just control the friggin' government bank. So rather than having to go through that legislative mechanism, you can just say, no, we're not paying you. We're not paying you. My name's Elon and my dad is a real Nazi. The person added, just to make that, And even the Trump appointed person is like, hey, Big Daddy, this isn't what we do. We're not, because the thing is, I think we forget there's a lot of departments of our government that aren't really political. Like the Treasury Department's not supposed to be political. Someone sends them a little thing that's like, pay this money to this person, and then they do it, So the politicization of a department like that is scary, in my humble opinion. But what do I know? just a ball to fuck. As the Washington Post, typically only a small number of career officials control Treasury payment systems run by the Bureau of Fiscal Services, controls the flow of more than $6 million annually to households, businesses, and more nationwide. Tens, if not hundreds of millions of people across the country rely on the systems, which are responsible for distributing Social Security and Medicare benefits, salaries for federal personnel, payments to contractors, and grant recipients tax. So a thing we have to remember too is like some of this, of course, is them trying to, not pay for government programs or like punish their political enemies. But there are casualties to this thing. There are people who are catching strays. 31 does not count as old millennial, Eggman Z. Not at all. You're mid-millennial at best. But here's the thing, friends. Some of the people who will not get paid when things like this shut down are people on Medicare services. People who don't have access to healthcare other than money they get through the government. Social Security. Old people. You know old people. I know old people. We might be old people one day if we're lucky. Old people sitting at home waiting for their Social Security check. Not coming. Grant recipients. I mean, there's just people rely on stuff like this. The Journal highlights, thank you, Robot Animal, we're the baldest stream on YouTube. 31, I think, is millennial. I think that's like young millennial, though. The Journal highlights, any interruption in its operations could result in the far-reaching economic disruption during negotiations of raising the debt ceiling. Concerns about the continued performance of the payment system are at the core. The Journal also reports that a person familiar with the arrangement said that Doji representatives won't have direct authority to stop individual payments, describing their access as read-only. Okay, the report doesn't specify who might be doing the monitoring. So now Musk and doggies have access to and potentially power over what is basically America's checkbook. That is the way to think about this. If we think about it in really simple terms, they have access to the checkbook by which America pays people, governments, organizations, universities. And I just want to remind you guys of this. They've not gotten to the Department of Education yet. We've not yet confirmed Mrs. WWE to run the Department of Education. When this happens, you're going to see me truly having a meltdown in public. I mean, guys, this is going to get really bad. It's going to get really bad. So I'm just letting you know that it's going to get really bad. You heard it from me. Let's see. Let's scroll down to... On Saturday, Musk was already making wild, unsubstantiated claims on X about what his Doge investigators had discovered. He alleged that career Treasury officials are breaking the law every hour of every day by approving payments that are fraudulent or do not match the funding laws passed by Congress. What does he know? He doesn't know anything. So this is funny. Chris Maverick says, so here's the thing, generation titles aren't real. We have a video coming out about this. There's some debate in the chat right now about millennial stuff. We have a video written with our friend Sarah, who's a PhD student in psychiatry and psychology. She's really great. But we have a video coming about how generations aren't real. That's coming out in 2 weeks, maybe. We also have a video coming out about techno-feudalism. Yeah, generations aren't real, they're largely just a construction to put us against each other and let people sell advertising to us. Senator Elizabeth Warren, who has a plan for that, the top Democrat on the Senate Committee on Banking, Housing, and Urban Affairs, sent a letter to Treasury Secretary Bessonette demanding he explain why he gave Musk access to the system. Warren said, I am alarmed that as one of your first acts as secretary, you appear to have handed over a highly sensitive system responsible for millions of Americans' private data and a key function of government to an unelected billionaire and an unknown number of his unqualified flunkies. Goon boys. Again, it's not actually clear what Musk and his Doge and White House allies intend to do. Let's see. The executive director of the progressive economic think tank Groundwork Collaborative, Lindsay Owens, notes some troubling possibilities in an MSNBC op-ed. First, accessing the Treasury's payment system could be a path to freezing government funding. As the administration attempted earlier this week, Musk could halt payments to programs like, listen to this, guys, listen to what they might stop paying. Hopefully Kat gets me on her stream soon, and then I could be, a part of the same stream as Elizabeth Warren. Also, Kat has been doing streams. They're fun. I was in the chat the other day, and I saw some of our regulars there, and I thought that was very cool. I love to see overlap between those communities. Kat Abu is very cool. But here's who they might stop paying: Medicare, Meals on Wheels, Head Start, and more. Musk has already directed his engineers to find ways to turn off the flow of money to programs he and President Donald Trump oppose. Musk could also get his hands on the do not pay system that lists individuals or contractors the government has blacklisted. Government contracts have been central to Musk's $400 billion net worth. Because you got to remember this again, guys. Like, this camera angle is called bad. If you're just tuning in, welcome to Dome Cam. We've had a number of disasters today. First, Henry had some trouble on his end. Not his fault. So then I started streaming just via my own thing. My camera went down. Now we're on a goddamn computer camera. Okay, so there you go. But yeah, I'm gonna try to get Kat back on the show soon. Also, gotta eat some pizza with her. Okay, let's keep going. Hold on. The Treasury gate crashing also comes at the same time that Musk and his team are facilitating a hostile takeover of the Office of Personnel Management. Political scientist Seth Maskett is sounding the alarm. There are many disturbing aspects of this, but perhaps the most fundamental is that Elon Musk is not a federal employee, nor has he been appointed by the president nor approved by the Senate to have any leadership role in government. The Department of Government Efficiency is not truly any sort of government department or agency, and even the executive order uses quotes in its title. It's not a real thing. You know, think about it this way. Do you guys ever watch the show The Office? Have you ever heard of it? It's an underrated show. And on the show The Office, occasionally, there's like the party planning committee, and then there would sometimes be the other party planning committee. Is that Murphy thing on right now? Here, let's go on YouTube and see if I can. I had that up before. They were showing the little thingy. Let's see if we can watch this. Let's see if it's live. Oh, hey, I know that guy. Was it on? Hey, there's Kat right there. Wasn't there a press conference? Was it on like PBS or NPR? God, I think I was watching it before. Maybe it was a Democrat press conference. Can we call it that? Let's see if anything pops up. Okay, it already happened. That's from 6 days ago. God, I just saw this earlier today. Was it on was PBS had it maybe? Sorry that you're just watching me live, go through stuff. This is, if anyone has the link, I swear to God, there was like a live thing. It was on like PBS or NPR or something. And there's people, the Democrats, they were saying like, hey, this is so bad. Shouts to NPR, shouts to Tiny Desk Concert. I guess I'm wrong. If you do, guys, if you're a Tiny Desk Concert person, by the way. Nope, I guess I'm wrong, guys. I guess I'm wrong. Even your old buddy Michael can be wrong. But the thing I was saying before about The Office was like how there'd be all these committees that were real or C-SPAN might be it. Let me check that. But, on The Office would be a thing where Dwight would get made the leader of some task force or whatever that wasn't real. Like, that is what Doge is, right? It's like a made up thing. And that's why he shouldn't just be getting to run around and do all this stuff. C-SPAN, a great place. Yeah, maybe the thing I wanted to see was over. It is. We're all done. But yeah, just to wrap up a little bit here, perfectly fine to have a marketing gimmick, but Doge does not have power over established government agencies, and Musk has no role in government. It does not matter that he's an ally of the president. He is a private citizen taking control of established government offices. That is not efficiency. That is a coup, a cop, a cape, a cube. Someone says their cousin is at Tiny Desk. And Musk got it for practically nothing. All it costs to gain access to America's financial data, the government social security checkbook, and presumably every U.S. taxpayer's personal information was $288 million political donations to help Trump, which is peanuts to someone worth more than $420 billion. Nice. Okay. Oh yeah, and then like PBS and NPR, they took all their desks out of different government offices because they don't want us to do democracy anymore. Yeah, it feels like we're going crazy, guys. Jack, I kind of agree with that. It feels like we're going crazy. You know, I don't really know what else to say about any of this other than it is bad and it is weird and there's no end in sight and there is no mechanism by which anyone is seemingly going to stop this. Now, why is no one going to stop this? I'm not sure. Can I speculate for a second? Thanks for permission. You know, the reason I don't think there's going to be an end in sight to this in one sense, because Musk isn't elected, because Doge's is not a real organization, there's no system of built-in accountability for the thing because it's not real. It's like your imaginary friend can't get grounded. Why can't your imaginary friend get grounded? Because it's not real. Who are they going to ground? You know what I'm saying? Who are they going to ground? Another thing here. Who would stop him? Well, people in the government could maybe try, senators, Congress people, stuff like that. But are they going to put their jobs on the line? Are they going to put their careers on the line? They might not. They might not, because there's going to be, accountability is not the wrong word. Like revenge is the word that I am looking for if they try to do anything, you know? So it's hard to imagine a mechanism by which anyone can do anything to stop this, you know? The question goes further. At what point would the people who have given their trust over to, Trumpistan land and stuff, at what point could something happen that would make them step back and think, ooh, I don't know. And then everything else that is happening right here is, of course, undermining and dismantling mechanisms of accountability, control, hierarchy, things like that within the government. And then the worst feeling of all of this, correct me if I'm wrong, I want to know what you guys feel here. The worst feeling about all this might be there's nothing for us to do. You know? What are we going to do? Protest? I'm not trying to be cynical and I'm not trying to be negative here. When has that worked recently? I don't know. We can vote. But again, like John Kim in the chat says, Bernie needs to give Elon and Trump black eyes. I don't know. Bernie could have been president at one point, and the Democratic Party undermined him to make sure that he wasn't, thus setting up Biden. Biden then refused to drop out, leading to a horrible situation for Kamala Harris, leading to a second Trump presidency. Like all these things happened, and people made those things happen. So it's like the people who now we want to like help us, the people now who we think, help us, Obi-Wan Democrats, you're our only hope. These are the people that got the ball rolling to set up the conditions that we're in right now. So what are we going to do? What are we going to do? I don't know. I want to say we can protest. I want to say we can do whatever. All I can think of right now, and I know this isn't enough. But all I can think of right now is like paying attention, thinking as hard as we can, making other people aware. And I've seen people bring up mutual aid. And I do think there's a sense in which like there's not going to be a large scale response to this and people are getting fucked. Like, poor people are getting fucked and trans people are getting fucked and people that are from Mexico and Central America are getting fucked. So, you know, mutual aid can work. Someone says, why does no one say revolution? Like, look at the history of revolutionary politics. And often it is the case that there is, whether a coalition of workers or a party or some collection of human beings. Nikos, I owe you an email. I'm going to get that today. It's hard to imagine that because again, guys, like there is a reason that the people who are in charge of the systems that have all of this power have created a world where we're all alienated and mediated via digital technologies. You know, there's a reason that the same mechanisms that we have to use to communicate and get our news and sort of get our culture from are these mechanisms that keep us these isolated things on the other side of a screen from each other, where we're just getting data sucked out of our pee holes and we're getting a bunch of bullshit shot back into our eye sockets, you know? Wisecrack Live 666 is an email. Wisecrack Live 666 is email.com. What do people think? I really want to know. I'm not the smartest person. And if anything, I think I've spent too much of my life, you know, learning theory and philosophy stuff. So, and because of that, I know a lot less or have thought a lot less about practical solutions to these things, guys. Please like the stream if you haven't already. Please give some love to Henry in the chat. Please hit us up at wisecracklive666gmail.com and let us know what you want us to cover. All that stuff. I want it from you. I need it from you. Okay? I really appreciate you all. I'm letting you know that. I really appreciate you all. Here's what I want you to do. Do something that feels good. There's 2 recent Tiny Desk concerts on NPR that I loved. Okay? 2 recent ones that I loved. I'm going to pull them up right now and show them to you. And I would suggest that you check these out. Okay? So let's go back to Safari on my work computer that does not work well. This is not a good computer, and they're refusing to give me a new one. I don't know why. So I don't get to have a new computer. Okay. Yes. So here's some Tiny Desk concerts I want you to consider watching. Faye Webster. See that one right there? Great stuff. I'm a big Faye Webster head. I recommend checking that out. Or MJ Lenderman. Either of those 2. They're both kind of more folky, but I think they both might feel good right now. So if you're into kind of like folky, pretty music with strings and stuff, I recommend you can pick one. Either MJ Lenderman or Faye Webster. You pick MJ or Faye. Let me know in the chat which one you're going to watch, MJ or Faye. But I just highly recommend you go do that, to just do something that feels good, to listen to some music, to connect with something that's human, okay? So let me know in the chat if you're going to watch MJ or Faye. They're both on the NPR website. I'm not getting paid by NPR. I don't care. I just think you should do that to feel good. I'm drinking Yes Please coffee. I'm going to get back to work. I'm really behind on everything. I, again, feel like a deflated balloon. I can't get work done. I want to get work done, but then some of my work involves being in touch with what's going on in the world. It's making me feel depressed, and it's making me wonder, like, why am I doing this? What is the point of any of this? You guys might be feeling that too. I say this not to make you feel worse. Hopefully I say it to make you feel better, that other people are thinking this as well. Listen to some music and know that it's okay to turn off the news. Faye Webster is the absolute fucking best. But seriously, you're allowed to turn off the news. You're allowed to get off the apps. You're allowed to listen to some music and relax. And if anything, I think you deserve it. I really do. I really think you deserve it, guys. So I don't have answers for you in the grand political scheme, but I do at least think you deserve to spend time with some art, to do some things that make you feel more human, because we need to lean back into our humanity when they're trying to make us less human. They're trying to suck the humanity out of us. So let's be more human, okay? We're gonna be back Wednesday. In the meantime, hit the comments, hit the chat. Wisecracklive666@gmail.com. Which camera? This camera. See you guys Wednesday. Can't wait. And as Henry